Inside the Magic, show number 495 for September 29th, 2014. It is Monday, September 29th, 2014. This is show 495 of Inside the Magic, and as always, I am your host, Ricky Briganti, with a great show packed with a whole lot of Disney fun and a whole lot more as well. Before we get to all of it, I invite you to visit our website, InsideTheMagic.net. There you will find all of our podcasts, videos, photos, news, articles, and plenty more. And if you ever have any news, tips, questions, or comments, or anything that you want to send in to me whatsoever, you can email me at ricky@InsideTheMagic.net, or you can call and leave a message at 407-494-4ITM. That's 4486. And now, let's get on with the show. This week's episode of Inside the Magic is brought to you by Magical Travel. Splash into magical fall rates with the Disney Cruise Line. It is the magic of summer at a much lower rate. You can book that by calling Magical Travel about a 7-night Eastern or Western Caribbean cruise from Port Canaveral. You can call 866-207-8387 or visit them online at magicaltravel.com. When you do that, be sure to mention Inside the Magic to receive a free Disney gift card for qualifying bookings when you book your Disney vacation with Magical Travel. And by listeners like you, thanks very much to Mike Evans and Joseph Spencer for your donations this week. And, of course, thanks to all contributors to this show. And now, let's kick this off with a trip around the world. We're actually going to start in the world of video games this week, where Disney Infinity 2.0 has been released. I'm not going to give you a big, huge, in-depth review of this game because, well, if you played Disney Infinity, the original, it's kind of more of the same, but better. They've done a really good job improving it. This is kind of my quick review. Marvel, of course, is a huge part of it. In fact, Marvel is the only part of it for now, for another month or so, until the other Disney characters pop up for the, you can buy the figures and all of that. So you get Marvel playsets now that come with it, and extra Marvel playsets that you can buy, and they're all a really huge amount of fun. Actually, when you first fire up the game, it's got a bit of a teaser where you can play a little bit as Aladdin, a little bit as Tinkerbell, a little bit as Stitch, a few other characters, kind of, wetting your whistle until those characters do get released. I can't wait to get a hold of Aladdin and have fun with that in the toy box. But the Marvel's playsets are definitely fun. They've added a lot of new controls, new upgrade abilities for the characters, and then in toy box mode, there's so many new features. It's much easier to use. It's not so open-worldy to the point where you don't know what you're doing. It is to the point where it instructs you quite well, and you can do this, you can do that. You can build interiors, which is really awesome, decorate rooms and connect them all together and make a mansion or make, a lair, a secret lair, or, whatever you want. There's so much to play with this, and I wish I had time to play more of it, honestly. I haven't played that much. I played enough to get a really good feel of every aspect of it. You can read more about my review, a fuller review, over on InsideTheMagic.net with a whole lot of pictures as well. And, hopefully all of you who already have it are enjoying it as much as I did ever so briefly while playing it. And, maybe sometime around the end of the year I'll actually have a chance to dive deeper into the game. Or, probably a month from now when those other Disney figures come out. That'll be a good excuse to sit down for another few hours and play. So now, away from video games, over on to the theme parks at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Frozen Summer Fun has officially ended this past weekend, but that does not mean that the Frozen entertainment is leaving the park. Only a little bit of it is. The nightly fireworks show, the Frozen fireworks show, that is over. The little parade near the beginning of the day, that's over because they used a lot of the Christmas floats for that, so those need to move over to the Magic Kingdom to get ready for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. But certainly not the end of Frozen by any means. The sing-along is sticking around. The Wandering Oakens area is going to change a little bit, but you'll still be able to buy a whole lot of stuff. They're going to have a big snow play area in time for Christmas, so all of that is going to be sticking around at least till the end of the year. I imagine the Frozen sing-along is going to stick around for even longer than that. And in addition, of course, over at the Magic Kingdom, they're adding a bunch of Frozen entertainment to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party this year, including Elsa lighting the castle or icing over the castle, as well as Anna, Elsa, Kristoff and Olaf appearing in the Christmas parade in Magic Kingdom as well. And, of course, we all know that quite a ways down the line, Maelstrom's going to be closing at Epcot in the very near future. About a week or so left for that attraction to exist, and then it's going to be replaced by Frozen way down the line. So the end of Frozen summer fun at Hollywood Studios is by no means the end of Frozen at Walt Disney World or anywhere else for that matter. I have a feeling we're going to see more and more and more and more and more of that coming soon. Let's jump to the world of TV now, where some of you may have already seen this because there have been some sneak peeks, quite a few of them, but the official debut date for Star Wars Rebels is going to be on Disney XD Friday, October 3rd. So just a few days from now, it's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific time in the U.S. Disney channels around the world will begin the series on Monday, October 13th, also at 9 p.m. I'm sorry, Disney XD is where the series is going to be. So Disney Channel, anyway, whatever. Disney TV is where you're going to find a whole lot of different It's very confusing. They're going to start with sort of a initial introduction to Star Wars Rebels, then they'll begin the series after that, 10 days later. Point being, October 3rd, 9 p.m., you're going to be able to watch the beginnings of Star Wars Rebels. And so if you're a fan of the Clone Wars, then this is definitely something you're going to want to tune into. And even if you didn't watch the Clone Wars, I didn't really watch very much of the Clone Wars. I saw a little bit of it. But Rebels seems like it's going to be really good. It's, tying into the original trilogy very much, sort of leading into Episode 7. So it should be pretty exciting. Moving away from Disney, I should mention there's very, very, very little park news this week. I've got some fun stuff coming up. Don't worry about that, but I'm already almost done with the news. So moving away from Disney here for a moment over to Universal Orlando. Halloween Horror Nights, of course, I talked quite a bit about that last week, but just as a sort of footnote here, if you really want to see more from the Halloween Horror Nights haunted houses, not only did it was I able to post 2 of the walkthrough videos, as I think I mentioned last week, the Alien vs. Predator and Halloween houses, but also this week over the last few days over on Outside the Magic, I posted 6 of the 8 haunted houses as lights on, scare free, just looking at the environment, unmasking the horror tours, photos, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of photos. So if you want to see what those environments, really detailed environments, are all about, then head over to OutsideTheMagic.com. Check that out. And speaking of Halloween, also worth mentioning real quick, Knott's Scary Farm has made its debut this week. I had Mark, one of our reporters, out in California there for opening night, and he not only wrote all about it, but got some great video of some of their new experiences, including Special Ops Infected, this crazy zombie shooting thing that you're running around in troops, and you can see some crazy video of that, as well as, and here's where, it's kind of mixed amongst Disney fans. Some of you have found this absolutely hilarious, and some of you were entirely offended by it, as probably is what's intended. There's a show called The Hanging at Knott's Scary Farm every year. It is, if you're familiar with Halloween Horror Nights and the Bill and Ted show, it's kind of Knott's version of that, similar type of show, more stunt-focused, but it opened this year with a very long parody of several Frozen songs. It is definitely not child-friendly. I'll just put it that way. And it's not sensitive Disney fan-friendly. So we do have a video over on our YouTube channel and on the website if you want to see Knott's Frozen parody. Just be warned that if you're sensitive, don't go watch it. If you are more open-minded and want to hear some fun, poking fun of Frozen, then go for it. And as I said, there's not much news this week, so that's actually kind of the end of the news. I'm heading to Pennsylvania in a few days. I have been meaning to do this for so many years, continuing sort of my wanting to see every haunted house on the planet eventually. I'm going to 6 haunted houses in Pennsylvania this coming weekend. Scare House, 100 Acre Manor, Penhurst Asylum, Shocktoberfest, Bates Motel, and Terror Behind the Walls at Eastern State Penitentiary over the course of 3 nights. So really packing it in there. It's going to be a wonderful time that has very little, if nothing, to do with Inside the Magic here. It has nothing to do with any theme park, so clearly something perfect for Outside the Magic. So you can be expecting probably an Outside the Magic podcast, a very first one, coming up perhaps next week or shortly thereafter, talking about some of that. I'll certainly be posting live on Facebook and Twitter on Outside the Magic for all of that, and as well as on the website as well. So if you're interested in those haunts and see what they're all about, then kind of follow along over my fun trip. And then in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be heading out to California for some more Halloween fun out there. A lot of the same haunts that I went to last year, some new ones as well. Certainly Mickey's Halloween Party out at Disneyland, Halloween Horror Nights out there, and much more. So lots of fun to come in the world of Halloween, both here and especially on Outside the Magic. One more note here before sort of wrapping this sort of news segment up. I've been talking a lot about the Radley Haunted House, the home haunt that I've been heavily involved with this year down in St. Petersburg near Tampa, and I was there. This is why I'm recording on Monday. I was there very late last night working on it. I'm going to be going back this week and next week, and next week is when we open, October 9th, and I hope a lot of you are going to come out and see it. It's going to be 16 nights throughout October, beginning October 9th, every Thursday through Sunday, all the way through November 2nd. Lots of really amazing work has gone into this. We've been working hard to make it much more than just sort of your average home decorations. It's going to be pretty impressive. But anyway, the reason I'm bringing it up is we need a little bit of help. We need actors, to scare actors in the haunt. We need people to stand outside and help direct traffic. We need people to sort of make sure everybody's happy while they're waiting in line. Things like that. So if you're in the St. Pete area, if you're in the Tampa area, if you want to volunteer, you don't have to be there every night. Every night would be awesome, but you don't have to be there every night if you want to do any of those things. Send me an email. Send it actually to contact@radleyhaunt.com. That's RADLEY haunt, HAUNT.com, and just let me know what you want to do. 1 night, 6 nights, 16 nights, whatever. We're really hoping to get a large group of people together to staff this so we can make it even better. So I'm really excited. And for those of you who can't be there, don't worry, I'm going to share plenty of it. And for those of you who don't care at all, well, too bad. That is it for your news from around the world this week. This week's tip, it's actually quite an extensive, awesome series of tips, comes in from Susan, who a couple of years ago, she sent in a great list of tips for the Halloween time, haunted houses for chickens. And this year, she's compiled another great list, this time kind of putting a spin on that, a list of tips for haunted house or Halloween haunt addicts. So I want to run through these here for those of you who are huge fans of haunted attractions like I am. These are actually great tips that you might benefit from. So number 1, start the season early. Haunts open in September. You'll have more time to visit haunts in October if you start early. So that certainly makes sense. That's what I've been doing. That's what I will continue to do. Number 2, support your local haunt. Keep the spirit alive closer to home, like, well, Bradley Haunted House. Number 3, don't be scared to try something new. Beside haunted houses, there are haunted hay rides, corn mazes, haunted plays, real haunted houses, and the latest craze, zombie hunts. Number 4, express passes can be your friend, or they can eat your wallet. Use them wisely. Spend your money to buy at the busiest haunts, but not for standalone haunts. If you arrive early and really late, you can get in otherwise. Number 5, once a night is not enough. Hit multiple haunts in one night. Most haunts take less than an hour to experience. Find haunts closer together and make a whole night of it. Great tip there. I'm absolutely doing that for sure. Number 6, always check dates and hours. Nothing is more terrifying than a closed sign. That is certainly true. Number 7, haunt in packs. Since most of your normal friends deserted you after Halloween Horror Nights, find fan groups that enjoy Halloween as much as you do. You can sometimes even get discounts or special access. Number 8, share the scare. Post on social media with your friends who have previously abandoned you. You can give feedback to the haunt designers there, and so they can plan something even more frightening next year. Number 9, let a ghost or a t-shirt follow you home. If you like a haunt, spend some money. Buy a shirt, buy a souvenir. Keep them around. I encourage that because we'll be selling Bradley t-shirts and stuff. So definitely look for that when you come out and see that. And finally, number 10, never say die. Go to haunts that are open throughout the year. You should never let your guard down to stay in practice and give your characters a year-round job. Very true there. Love year-round haunts. So Susan, great list there. Hopefully you fellow Halloween enthusiasts out there learned a little something from that. A little takeaway, and everybody else, email your tips, Halloween theme park or otherwise, into tips at InsideTheMagic.net. Now, I know this has been very Halloween-heavy so far, and it will continue to be for another few minutes, but I actually have quite a few Disney things coming up after this segment, so for those of you who are not Halloween fans, stick around a little bit. You might enjoy this anyway, but I want to launch into a little bit about Howl-O-Scream Busch Gardens Tampa that I experienced over the weekend. It just opened on Friday. Unfortunately, it was only open Friday and Saturday, and both nights were extremely rainy, as it has been. It's been raining almost nonstop here in Central Florida for like 2 weeks. It's been crazy, so that really puts a damper on attractions, quite literally. So a lot of the street entertainment was not there, unfortunately, this weekend for Howl-O-Scream, so I can't talk much about that. It kind of just makes the whole event kind of feel not their fault. It's just the weather, you know. But there is specifically one experience I just wanted to bring up here. It's Zombie Containment Unit 15. There are 2 new haunted houses this year at Howl-O-Scream, and this is, again, Busch Gardens Tampa. That one and Deadfall. But Zombie Containment Unit 15 is the star of the show this year. It is a brand new experience. I didn't know what to make of it. They billed it as, zombie laser tag. And I thought, is it like a shooting gallery? Are the zombies just going to kind of come at you and you're going to blast away and you're done after 30 seconds? No. This is a full walkthrough experience. You're winding in and out of chain link fences and barrels and crates and all kinds of, doors and decorations and different paths. And there's strobe lights going off. And on the way in, you're given a laser gun. And you're told, basically, the zombies in this containment unit, after years of being contained after a zombie apocalypse, they've kind of broken free, and you have to contain them. Once again, you're not trying to kill them because they are undead Americans, so you don't want to kill them, but you do want to stun them, and by doing that, you shoot your laser gun at a target on their chest, and that will stun them for 5 seconds. It's really fun. I thought it was going to be lame, honestly, but it was really fun to rapidly move through a haunted house type environment and blast away at every actor that's in there, every zombie, as they're snarling, growling at you. You shoot them and they freeze. They're stunned. But then their device turns off, and you're waiting for that moment. You see one that somebody has stunned ahead of you, and you're like, uh-oh, is it going to come alive? Is it going to come alive? And then they do, and they lunge for you, and they shoot them, and they freeze. And of course, they're frozen 99% of the time because people are constantly shooting them. But in that one brief moment where they start to attack, you feel the need to immediately whip your gun around and shoot them out of fear for your life. So it is quite a fun experience. It's fast-paced. It's a little exhilarating. Everyone's leaving with smiles and laughter. It's not, it can be scary, but not like super scary. It's more of just a thrilling. It's really fun. They did a nice job with it. I'm looking forward to seeing how that evolves in the future. I mentioned there's a second new haunted house this year, Deadfall. Wasn't really thrilled by it. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. There were these giant creatures, puppet pneumatic things, like big alligator teeth coming at you. I don't know, that doesn't seem scary to me. They just seem like big oafy creatures. But Deathwater Bayou, still a fantastic house. That was the Voodoo house from last year. They made it even better this year. It's wonderful. Best Howl-O-Scream house I've ever seen. So it's got that going for it. I wrote a full review of the event over on a website. Lots of video, certainly some video for Outside the Magic as well, because Howl-O-Scream skews a little bit adult at times with the Fiends show and other moments. So go to both sides of the website, check it out if you want to see more. You can even see some video inside Zombie Containment Unit 15 to see what that shooting experience is like. It's a lot of fun. So head over to the website and the YouTube channel, check that out. And now for something completely different. This weekend marked the end of a variety of long-time Walt Disney World entertainment, both at Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios. So we're going to start over at Epcot, and I'm going to give you sort of a sampling of all of this now extinct entertainment from Walt Disney World, starting with, you might guess from this music, over in Morocco at Epcot, in the World Showcase. They're a long-time group there, Mo Rockin'. And this is one that, I mean, it's great live music, but the focus of this is certainly the belly dancer that would come out and perform, and that doesn't translate to an audio podcast very well, but I still want to play a bit of their music, kind of the introduction to their act, and a bit of it, because they were a live band, and they always sounded great as well. So here is just a sampling of Mo Rockin' on its last weekend of performing at Walt Disney World.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, marhaba, and welcome to Morocco. North Africa is like a patchwork quilt of many cultures, and the rhythms of the entire African continent move northward, where they mix with thousands of years of the traditional music of Egypt, the Berbers, and the nomadic peoples. The music of Spain flows southward across the Straits of Gibraltar to add its own particular richness. Exotic melodies and harmonies of the Middle East add the essential element of Arabic fusion to the mixture. With all of these incredible musical styles joined together, the whole becomes more exciting than the one. Then, mix all of these styles with a rock beat. It is more than rock. It is Mo Rockin'.
That was a bit of Mo Rockin'. You can actually see a video over on our YouTube channel of their full performance, about 16 minutes long, belly dancer included. So you can't see them in Epcot anymore. So that will be your place to go if you are a fan of their act and miss it already. Now, turning just a little bit down the way at the World Showcase to a one of the most popular musical acts ever at Walt Disney World that is now gone officially. Their last performance was just a couple of nights ago, and that is, of course, Off Kilter, the Canadian bagpipe rock band that's been playing at Epcot for years and years and years, and hundreds upon hundreds of fans showed up for their final performance. You can see some highlights, some quick clips of their last songs, and all the fans that showed up over on our website and YouTube channel. But right now, I want to play one of their songs in its entirety from a recent performance at Epcot as a tribute to this long-standing fan favorite form of entertainment. This is Off Kilter.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, do you like Canadian music? Do you like rock and roll? Do you like Celtic rock? Do you like fun? Then get ready for all of this and more, eh? With the music of Canada, from the Northwest Territory to Quebec, and from Nova Scotia to the Yukon, please welcome Off Kilter! How's everybody doing?
Bound to
Wonderful, wonderful band that you can no longer find at Walt Disney World. They're going to be replaced by the Paul Bunyan Lumberjack Show. Something about sawing through wood and stuff. Definitely not a musical act, so that's coming. We'll see how that goes. But moving on to Disney's Hollywood Studios, where this weekend another form of entertainment closed. This time it was a ride, an attraction, a walkthrough, an exhibit, a whole lot of everything that's been in the park for a very, very long time. Actually, a form of this has been around in the park since the very beginning of Disney's, Disney MGM Studios, but now Disney's Hollywood Studios. It is the Backlot Tour, and it is no more. You can no longer ride the tram. You can no longer see the little effect show before. You can no longer see Catastrophe Canyon. What's replacing it? We don't know. Could be Star Wars, could be Cars, something or other, could be more Pixar, could be Toy Story, could be a number of other things that are rumored. Disney has not said just yet. But regardless, it is definite that the Backlot Tour is now closed, so I want to take you on one final ride on that. Of course, the attraction has changed very much over the years, especially when Residential Street went away to make way for Lights, Motors, Action. It got cut. The Backlot Tour got cut quite a bit. It became kind of a shell of its former self. It definitely had its glory days years and years ago, but it's still been around, and it's still been fun, and I'm going to take you on a trip on the Backlot Tour on its very final day of operation at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Wait until your door has stopped moving before trying to exit. It's not safe to duck under or crouch under a moving door. Please be patient with these doors. Once the door has stopped moving in front of you, watch your head, watch your step, and welcome aboard.
I love China. Going on right here. And no exciting customs on our custom and tunnel. Enjoy your tour.
Hello everyone, my name's Don and welcome aboard. We're heading into the backlot of Disney's Hollywood Studios. This production area was built in 1988 as a Florida counterpart to the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank, California. We included sound stages, recording studios, high-tech editing rooms, all the tools needed to create movies, TV shows, and radio broadcasts. We've even got our very own water tower, too. It's up ahead on the left side of our shuttle. We call it the Earful Tower. It's inspired by the water tower Walt Disney had built for his Burbank studio in 1939. Our Florida tower stands a lucky 13 stories high, and we added our own creative touch, a giant set of Mickey Mouse ears. If you wanted to wear those ears, you'd have to have a hat size of 342 3/8. Up ahead, after the next bend in the road, you'll have a perfect opportunity to take a picture of this famous icon. In the world of entertainment, every project starts with a screenplay and a lot of creative ideas. A production studio is where the ideas of writers, producers, and directors are transformed into an on-screen reality. Within these huge spaces, filmmakers can literally create their own worlds. Our Florida sound stages are soundproof, weatherproof, and most importantly, air-conditioned, all vitally important for the cast, crew, and equipment. Many of the crafts needed for filmmaking are located right here on the lot. On the left, we have our own greens department. It grows flowers, trees, shrubs, and topiaries. A few well-placed plants can cover up empty spots in the set and add a touch of natural beauty to a scene. On the right are two of the aircraft from the 2001 blockbuster hit Pearl Harbor. These exact full-scale replicas of P-40 fighters were used in the special effect fight sequences. Of course, many of the planes you saw flying through the aerial battles or sitting on the ground weren't real at all. They were created entirely within a computer. Oh, keep your cameras focused to the right. We're coming up on that perfect angle of the Earful Tower I told you about. It's a true masterpiece. We're entering one of our most glamorous and colorful departments, creative costuming. Every star has to have just the right wardrobe, and it all begins here with a designer's sketch. Our team of designers, seamstresses, and tailors can turn 1.5 million yards of fabric into over 25,000 costumes every year. Many of these costumes will become part of the shows and attractions of the Walt Disney World Resort. In fact, here in Florida, we have the largest working wardrobe department in the world. Why, Mickey Mouse alone has over 175 different outfits to choose from, while Minnie Mouse keeps more than 200 unique costumes in her wardrobe. On the left are costumes worn by the stars in recent studio productions. You'll probably recognize some of those costumes from the big screen. Every story needs a setting, and our design staff can create just about any place a script calls for, from an urban city street to a remote desert canyon. On the left is our scenic shop where large-scale sets and props are built. Our team of set designers, carpenters, artists, and engineers has created caves and caverns, game show sets, even replicas of the U.S. Supreme Court, and NASA's Mission Control, all on our sound stages. The shop also provides sets and props for our shows and parades here at Walt Disney World. The same skill and craftsmanship that goes into a movie set can also be used to create magic for our parks. Either way, it's all about making dreams come true. Now we're entering a zone we call the Bone Yard. It's an outdoor storage area for oversized props and vehicles. Cars, trucks, boats, planes, we often save these props in case we need them for future production. In this backlot collection, you may find real working vehicles, non-working mock-ups, and even large-scale miniatures used in special effects shots. Large-scale models create a more convincing illusion on camera.
Well, I just left it then. I said to you, it's done. And I'll go in the queue.
We need you to close the umbrella, please. Unfortunately, we know it's raining, but please, umbrellas are not allowed on the train.
Green Stunt Show. On the left, you may catch a glimpse of the Mediterranean fishing village that sets the stage for this thrilling attraction. We'll get a closer look at it soon, but for now, we're approaching one of the largest standing sets on our back lot. It's over on the right. It may not look like much from this angle, but it's pretty spectacular on the other side. This is great, folks. The production crew has just given us clearance to enter the set.
Hello, Backlot Tour. I'm Amy, the production coordinator here at the studios. I can see your shuttle heading toward our canyon set. I've given your driver permission to come in and take a look around. I'm up here with our effects crew, and we're getting ready to shoot a test sequence. Oh, on the way in, you're going to be crossing a wooden bridge, and things may get a little bumpy, so please, hold on to your belongings, especially hats, cameras, and glasses, and keep an eye on any small children in your party. And of course, please remain seated at all times. Welcome to the set. As you can see, we brought the bare, dry deserts of Southern California to green, typically humid Central Florida. This set is based on real locations that our production designer took pictures of. Our set crew spent about 6 months building the canyon. We've used it for a number of TV shows and specials over the years. For our upcoming production, the script called for a tanker truck. We found this one in our boneyard, but it was too big to drive into place. So we picked it up with a crane and set it down here. We're up on the overhead platforms, and I see our director has arrived. As soon as the rain effect is ready, we'll begin the sequence. This set of shower is really just a special effect. We've rigged up a series of water nozzles just above your tram. The water sprays in a crisscross pattern to create a sense of depth. But this storm is okay, it's showtime. Everybody stay seated, hang on to your belongings, and watch your children. water through air cannons for an extra dynamic effect. Those air cannons are powerful enough to shoot a basketball over the top of a skyscraper the size of the Empire State Building. To top it off, our shuttle was sitting on hydraulic shaker tables. They provided the shaking, rattling, and pulling sensations for the scene. The entire sequence will be reset in 3.5 minutes. That's just enough time to bring in the next shuttle. Well, I've got to get ready for our next tape. Thank you all for being part of the action. Hey, I'm needed back on the set, so enjoy the rest of your tour.
Okay, well, thanks, Amy, for giving us access to the set.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Scanaway, director of the new Disney Toon Studios animated feature, Planes, Fire, and Rescue. Looks like the historic aircraft on the right is getting into the spirit of our new film. It would fit right in with Dusty Cropper, Dipper, and all their high-flying friends from Piston Peak National Park. You know, that plane was known at airports across the country as November 234 Mickey Mouse, or the Mouse for short. Back in the early 1960s, Walt Disney himself used this plane to scout locations for what he referred to as the Florida Project. His team purchased many acres of land here in Central Florida, but they kept the Disney connection a well-guarded secret. Eventually, the secret was out, and the Walt Disney World Resort became a reality. Enjoy the rest of your tour, and I hope you enjoy Planes, Fire, and Rescue.
On our right, we once again sweep past the magnificent Mediterranean village of our lights, motors, action extreme stunt show. This high-octane attraction is based on the hit show from the Walt Disney Studios Park in France. In this action-packed production, you'll feel like you're right there on the set during the filming of a spy thriller, complete with custom-built cars, motorcycles, even jet skis. You'll experience the split-second timing, coordinated driving, and fiery special effects that make action movies a real flash. The staging area to our right is known as Acceleration Alley. Here, the custom-built stunt show vehicles rev their engines up to 70 miles an hour before making their high-speed entrances onto the stage for our lights, motors, action extreme stunt show. Professional stunt drivers. We hope you'll enjoy their daring driving skills, but please don't try them yourself. On the left, we've reached our second boneyard with more historic props and vehicles. When we reuse older props in a new production, they're often refitted with custom parts and given a whole new color scheme. You might not even recognize them the next time you see them on screen. For instance, coming up is our friend Herbie the Love Bug. He went through a special demolition derby makeover. Those dents and dings were added on purpose, but he can be polished up as good as new for his next starring role. On our right, we now have a very different view of the fishing village set. From this point of view, you can see that there is no inside of the buildings. They are just false fronts or facades. In the movie business, set builders only create what the camera has to see. It's an old movie trick dating all the way back to the silent era. To add to the sense of realism and avoid the cost of set building, many of today's television shows and movies film on location in cities and towns across the U.S. But out in the real world, you've got to contend with noise, traffic, crowds, and various visual elements that may or may not belong in your film. Here on the backlot, we can avoid these problems because we created our very own flexible urban environments. Our Streets of America facades can stand in for a small town or a giant metropolis. As we come around the last corner on our route, you'll see the skyline of New York City in the distance. It's really a series of painted flats, expertly designed to fool the eye and the camera. We can dress and decorate these streets to look like any city we want, from Chicago to San Francisco. Depending on the choice of vehicles, props, and costumes, we can even turn back the clock and set our story in a different time. And what's more, these sets are built with Florida weather in mind. They're made to withstand 100-mile-an-hour winds. You're welcome to visit our Streets of America anytime during your visit today and get an up-close look at the skills of our set designers and builders.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoy your tour. We, for sure, enjoy having you along with us. So please, I'm going to ask you to remain seated until the shuttle comes to a complete stop. And the doors are going to be open for you, so please wait until the doors are above your head. and enjoy the rest of your day here at Disney Hollywood Studios.
Hey, Ricky.
Hi, Ricky.
Hi, Ricky. Hey, Ricky.
Hi, Ricky.
Hi, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky.
Ricky, this is amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Inside the Magic Listener Feedback.
Well, hopefully you enjoyed that trip through the now extinct entertainment offerings around Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios. I think a lot is in store for Walt Disney World that we just don't know about quite yet. October 1st is right around the corner. Would be an awesome day for some big announcements, an anniversary of Walt Disney World, an anniversary of its theme parks. Certainly would be a nice time to make some kind of announcement. John Lasseter was recently spotted in Disney's Hollywood Studios along with a group of executives, Kathy Mangum, the Imagineer, and so something big is in the works there. It's just a matter of when we're going to hear about it. So we'll just have to wait and see. But now we are moving into listener feedback, starting with an email from Northeast Nate, who writes, "It's always sad to see an attraction go away. I grew up riding the Backlot tour back in the early 90s when it was at its prim. Now it's a shell of what it used to be. With this attraction, it's a huge footprint in the park. I can't wait to see what new things will replace this attraction. Expansion to Pixar Place, possible Star Wars Land, maybe Marvel. RIP Backlot Tours, thanks for all the memories. Is Disney doing too much? Hub expansion construction, Backlot Tour closing, Maelstrom down for a year, Disney Springs, Avatar Land, every park is upgrading or under construction. Is Disney construction taking the magic away from guests?" Yeah. So, Nate, interesting question there. I certainly share your sentiments about the Backlot Tour of the past, though, I really, that's one of those things that I didn't think would ever leave the park. I felt like it embodied what, studios, whether it was MGM Studios or Hollywood Studios, it brought a lot of the studios aspect to the studio. And now, without that, there's really not much studio left to the park. There's an animation section, but even that is not nearly what it used to be. So I do wonder what's going to happen with that park. Is it going to get, a California Adventure type makeover and become a whole new experience, moving away from the studio concept? It seems to be moving in that direction. So we'll see. Is Disney doing too much? I think if you would ask the average fan, Disney is not doing enough quickly. They take their time with everything. And even, Disney Springs, we've been hearing about that for quite a while. Avatar is still a long time away. The Frozen thing seems to be fast-tracked a little bit, but it's, a year plus away. And we don't even know what's coming for Backlot, and whatever it is, it's definitely going to take a few years there. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of construction going on, but they did that out in California. California Adventure got a huge 5-year makeover, and it turned into construction land for a long time. And I think that's where it's really needed for Hollywood Studios to become an awesome park, which it's currently just a good park. So I think a lot of changes are in the works there, and it should be fun to see what happens there. So no, I don't think Disney is doing too much, especially as nearby competitor Universal is doing a heck of a lot at a rapid pace. So it's good. I want to see Disney doing more and more and more. Next email, a little bit older, but definitely still relevant. David writes in saying, "After listening to show 465 and how big Frozen has become, I started thinking about how the last few years of Disney studio animation began to wonder, are we in the midst of a new, even bigger Disney animation renaissance? Think back to the mid-'80s when movies just weren't that good. You had films like The Black Cauldron, movies that now have a cult following, but at the time weren't successful. Then in '89, Little Mermaid comes around, and suddenly people are on notice due to Disney's newest princess. Then Beauty and the Beast was released, and you heard Disney is back as the movie, still one of my all-time favorites, garnered numerous awards, acclaim, and was highly successful. Then Aladdin, a movie maybe not quite as good, but still beloved for its comedy, its voice cast, and even some nostalgia with pop culture references from the Genie. And finally, The Lion King, the juggernaut not seen in many years, if ever, for Disney. Now think of the mid-2000s, Brother Bear, Atlantis, Treasure Planet. Movies like that, while they do have their fans, were just considered failures in Disney animation standards. And suddenly here comes Princess and the Frog, a throwback to the old animation style and storytelling in the introduction of Tiana, a new and much beloved princess. Then comes Tangled, a hugely successful film with the new princess that becomes hugely popular and sets up the Disney is back parallel. Wreck-It Ralph, a movie full of pop culture and fun that garnered great success, surpassing that before it, like Aladdin did with The Beast. And finally, the juggernaut of Frozen, a movie that may not be quite as good as some before it. I personally prefer Tangled to Frozen, but either way, it catches everyone off guard as to how good it is. We are in a new Disney animation revolution. Of course, after The Lion King, we got Hunchback and Pocahontas, so I won't tell you my personal feelings on that, but I can only hope that Frozen sets the stage for even better things to come. Finally, a question. I think one can argue that the last 4 Disney Animation Studio films, Frozen, Wreck-It Ralph, Tangled, and Princess and the Frog, rival those of Pixar. With Monsters University, Brave, Toy Story 3, and Cars 2, I think if you took out Toy Story 3, as much as I love Monsters U and can appreciate Brave's beauty, I think Disney has bettered Pixar in the last 5 years. Wanted to get your thoughts on the state of Disney and Pixar Animation, owned by the same company, but I'm sure have a rivalry of some sort, however friendly, and has John Lasseter taking over Disney Animation hurt Pixar in some way? David, thank you for the very long email, but wonderfully insightful. To address your first sort of take on the Disney animation renaissance or revolution, in a way, yeah. I mean, it's different, you know. You think about sort of the past Disney sort of ups and downs in animation. It was all kind of a similar Disney look. I mean, it certainly evolved over the years. Beauty and the Beast started to introduce some CG elements. You know, you got the great spinning shots of the swirling shots of the ballroom and things like that, but it was still kind of that traditional hand-drawn 2D look. And so it really felt Disney, you know, for many years. I mean, Disney, if you look at Disney early years and look at Disney later years, it definitely has different styles for sure. But there's, you know, that certain Disney touch to everything. Then came, you know, CG and Pixar, certainly, and things started to look very different. It's so hard for me to kind of wrap my head around that and compare today's films, Wreck-It Ralph, you know, Tangled and Frozen, to classic Disney films in terms of the movie itself. I don't know. It's just, it feels very different. But I think in hindsight, you know, give it another 20 years, give it another 30 years, when, you know, we continue to see these this type of animation move forward and forward and forward, and then it becomes this, you know, extreme standard to the point where maybe we even move on to whatever the next thing is. As we look back at these, could be certainly seen as another Disney renaissance of sorts. I mean, have we ever seen anything of the likes of Frozen in terms of popularity and craziness? And it's, you know, I don't see that going away ever. I think these characters will be around for a very, very long time, much like the ones that you listed out. So in short, yes, I do agree. Although I do not agree with your thoughts about Aladdin, because that's my favorite of the bunch that you mentioned. As far as competition with Pixar, I think there's some great Pixar films on the horizon. I'm really looking forward to quite a few of them, the non-sequels. The problem is we've just been stuck in sort of sequel mania recently, and then there was Brave, which it was a little off for many people. Some people really liked it, but for the most part, it was kind of a so it's because we've had so many sequels lately. So I think as the non-sequel movies come out over the next few years, the fact that we're in a non-Pixar year as well, it says a lot. I think you know, Lasseter and everybody's focusing really on Disney animation, focusing on Frozen and the upcoming Big Hero 6 with Marvel, which is really interesting. After that, Pixar is going to jump right back in, and I think we're going to get that split again. You know, it's going to be obvious. This is a Pixar film. This is a Disney animation film. The two won't. You know, I'm sure Pixar is looking at ways of continuing to differentiate themselves and make sure that every movie, every new movie, non-sequel movie, is incredibly unique and awesome. So there is that. Next email comes from Bradley, who writes, I wanted to say that I love Halloween like you. I'm so happy you didn't make another podcast to talk about Halloween Horror Nights. I love hearing about it on Inside the Magic, as well as watching all the coverage on YouTube. I've seen the Michael Myers maze on your YouTube channel. It looks amazing. I also like The Walking Dead, and I'm wondering if you're a Walking Dead fan. Also, is Halloween Horror Nights in California or both, or Florida or both? And if both, which are you covering? My birthday is on Saturday, September 27th. I was wondering if you could read this email on the show. Well, here we are. Yes, Bradley, happy birthday. A couple of days late, so happy belated birthday. But anyway, yes, both coasts, Universal in California and Florida. I've only really seen Florida's version. We did have had somebody out covering the Hollywood version, so I have some of that up on our YouTube channel and website already. But I'll be going out there in just a few weeks to really give it my all and see everything about it. You know, I bought the VIP awesome tickets so I can do everything a million times in one night and really take it all in as much as I possibly can in like 6 hours. hours when it's the duration of it being open. So yes, I'm a Walking Dead fan as well. I'm looking forward to the new season starting. I think the haunted house out here in Orlando is fantastic this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they did out in Hollywood with it this year as well. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed all of the fun Halloween stuff. A couple more emails. We'll wrap this up. Peter writes in, says, greetings from the UK and congratulations on the pending 500th episode. I'm a massive fan, been a listener for many years, and being in the UK, unable to get out to Orlando often, you bring that Disney magic to all each week. I remember some time ago you discussed your suggestions for a makeover for the Great Movie Ride at Hollywood Studios. I enjoyed this conversation, listening to your ideas of updated rooms. So I have a question for you. I was wondering if you had ideas or suggestions of what possibly could replace Splash Mountain, using the same footing of the attraction, using the same long queue area, the same drops, ride track, and with updated vehicles. Yes, the attraction is a classic, but with all the changes going on around the parks, it would be amazing to have a new rethemed attraction. Do you have any ideas of an updated attraction? This could be an amazing, huge Frozen ride. Also, you say a lot, our website. Who else assists you in making the website /podcast the best one? Well, Peter, thank you very much for the kind words, first of all, and I will address your second question first. Yes, I do say our website, and I say that because I do have a lot of contributors to Inside the Magic. Yes, I'm kind of the face and voice, and, well, I'm the owner of all of it. I started it all many years ago, approaching 10 years in a few months, which is crazy. So, yes, I mean, clearly I am essentially Inside the Magic, but no, I have so many other people involved now, and I'm actually getting more and more people involved. I think I mentioned recently that Kevin Yee, who's been in the Disney fan community for many, many years, longer than I have actually, is now contributing to Inside the Magic as well. He's doing a weekly column on the website as well as a video on our YouTube channel. I've got Mark out in California, former Orange County Register reporter and Imagineer, who's writing for us regularly as well, covering events out in California. Of course, Jeremiah Dawes has been covering things out there for us and continues to do so as well. I've got other reporters in California, now up in New York. I have some folks covering things, and even here in Orlando, I'm getting a lot of help from folks as well. Those recordings actually earlier that you heard, the two musical acts from Epcot and the studios recording, I did not record those. That was Daniel. So thanks to him for recording that. So it is ever growing. So when I say there's a lot of people that come and go. And honestly, out there, if any of you out there, if you're in California, if you're in the Orlando area, if you're in any markets where you don't feel like I'm covering enough some fun entertainment like this, send me an email. I'm always looking for help, looking for volunteers. If you want to write for the website, if you want to contribute in some other way, definitely send me an email, ricky@insidethemagic.net, and let me know what you want to do. I would love to establish, even more writers, trying to work on some columns, weekly columns, daily columns, whatever. So if you want to help out, go for it. I do want to make this our website, as you asked. So that's a very long answer to your question. Let's go back to your other one as far as Splash Mountain. Interesting question. Splash Mountain is such a staple of the Magic Kingdom and of Disneyland. I don't see it going away, but I guess if it did, you mentioned turning it into a Frozen ride, and that would be interesting. Completely ice over the mountain, and it's a water ride, so it would have to be an icy water ride. I don't know how that would work, but then again, so is Maelstrom, so I don't know how that's going to work. Yeah, it would make more Frontierland. In Critter Country, I don't think Frozen would make a whole lot of sense there. You'd have to kind of change the land around it, so that wouldn't make a lot of sense. As far what would I do? I guess Song of the South is something Disney is pretending doesn't exist, and so it doesn't really make sense to include that as a theme for Splash Mountain anymore. I would love to see them just come up with a completely original new idea for Splash Mountain. I don't have that idea off the top of my head, but it's something that the parks, at least in the United States, it's been a while since we've seen just like a totally brand new, here's some original characters, original story. What is this mountain? Transform it into some other type of mountain with a great original story wrapped around it, rather than obscure Song of the South that most people haven't seen and don't really know anyway. I think most people visiting probably think those characters are original to the attraction and aren't from anything, which I guess works, in that sense. But, it's a really hard question because Splash Mountain is such a good ride. I don't feel like it would need to be replaced. So it's hard to sort of reimagineer something that is so good to begin with. Really tough question. I guess I could say if anyone out there has an idea of what Splash Mountain could become, that's an interesting conversation. You could write to me and shoot me your ideas. So we'll just kind of leave that where it is for now, and that'll actually be it for listener feedback for this week.
Tomorrow.
I got it. Splash Mountain could become the up ride, right? Instead of going down the waterfall, you're in a house and you float up the waterfall, and then you're at the top of what is it, Paradise Falls, or I think is what it's called. I think whatever it's called in the movie, the big sort of mountainous area that they go to eventually. Put the house maybe off to the side in the queue, and you could go and walk through the house as part of the queue. You come out, it kind of tells the story while you're walking through all that path. You're walking through the city, and then you end up getting in the house, and you fly away and you float through the ride and encounter all of the jungle and Kevin and all of that, and you go through Wilderness Explorers and end up at the top or at the bottom of the mountain. And anyway, yeah, so there's my all of a sudden spur of the moment possibility. I don't think anyone wants an up ride, but that would be fun anyway. So that is it for show 495. A lot of things changing at Walt Disney World, kind of all of a sudden. Things weren't really expected. They kind of hit all at once, and I think there's going to be some surprises coming up soon. I have a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot. I threw out October 1st. It may not be then. It might be at Destination D in November. It may not even be till next year that we hear anything, sort of what's coming. But I do imagine a year from now, if we were having the same conversation, there's going to be a lot happening at Walt Disney World to be excited about. So looking forward to whatever that may be. I do want to thank Magical Travel for sponsoring this week's episode of Inside the Magic. You can find out more about their services by visiting magicaltravel.com. And please follow along with my Halloween adventure coming up this weekend on Outside the Magic. Look for Outside the Magic on Twitter, on Facebook. OutsideTheMagic.com. If you're into all of the Halloween stuff, it's definitely not going to be family friendly. I can tell you that, because these Halloween events are crazy non-theme park events, and there's probably going to be some crazy stuff going on. So, I'm going to have fun sharing all of that and plenty more. So there is that side of things for Halloween, and then there's everything that I've already talked about. Anyway, so that is about it for this week. I'm running short on time on the background song here, so I have very little else to say other than thank you so much for listening here each and every week, and please do have a magical week. Goodbye.
There's a great big beautiful tomorrow, just a dream away.